All right, let's begin. Shri Chakravasini Devi Namaste. Shivakama Sundari Devi Namaste. Shri Krishna Sodari Devi Namaste. Rajrajeshwari Devi Namaste. Rajrajeshwari Devi Namaste. Padmadala Lochini Devi Namaste. Bhakta Paripalini Devi Namaste. पर्वतवर्तिनी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते करुणाविलासिनी देवी नमस्ते कात्यायनी गौरी देवी नमस्ते कदम्बवनवासिनी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते शक्ति परमेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते शंभुमन मोहिनी देवी नमस्ते शंकरी कृपाकरी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते अन्नपूर्णेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते अखिलांडेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते अभयप्रदायिनी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते सत्यस्वरूपिणी देवी नमस्ते सद्गुरु रूपिणी देवी नमस्ते धर्मस्वरूपिणी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते अखंड परिपूरिणी देवी नमस्ते आदि पराशक्ति देवी नमस्ते अखिल परिपालिनी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते अनंत रक्षक देवी नमस्ते सौभाग्यदायिनी देवी नमस्ते संतान लाभ प्रदे देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते पाहि भुवनेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते श्री विद्यारूपिणी देवी नमस्ते शक्ति स्वरूपिणी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते राजराजेश्वरी देवी नमस्ते. We have been reading from Tripura Rahasya, the Gyan Khand, the part where knowledge is being given, and now the knowledge goes on becoming more and more stronger and denser and complicated sometimes, because all this, whatever is being spoken in the terms of consciousness. We are so used to hearing names of Bhagwan. When I say Krishna, and when you say Krishna as a form, it becomes easy. When I say Tripura, when I say Tripura is a form, it becomes easy. And when I say Tripura is pure consciousness, then it becomes a little pure consciousness. What do you mean by that? But does she have 4 hands or no? No, she's pure consciousness. She can get 4 hands, she can get 8 hands, she can get 1,000 hands, she can get 1 hand, and she can be without hands. Tripura can have eyes, and she cannot be without eyes, because she is pure consciousness. She is pure consciousness. So pure consciousness can see without any eyes. Now that's a very absurd statement, because we are so used to eyes. Without eyes, how can you see? No, pure consciousness can see without eyes. How does a blind person see? He sees, right? You'll say, no, he doesn't see. If he doesn't see, how does he know what to do, how to live in the world? How is he surviving? He's not seeing. How is he surviving? He feels. What is that feeling? Consciousness. So pure consciousness does not have eye, but yet it sees. Pure consciousness does not have legs, but it travels. How? Well, consciousness, you have your mind. Sit here and transfer your mind to Vrindavan. You will see everything in Vrindavan. You can read a book on survival on Mars. Transfer your mind to Mars. You will feel the heat of Mars. So consciousness does not have feet, but it is traveling. Consciousness does not have skin, but it can feel. Consciousness does not have mouth, but it can eat. How is it possible? Of course it is possible. You go and see so many patients, they cannot be fed from mouth. There are other methods to feed them. So they are being fed. They are living. How are they living? Because of the consciousness. So what is the main important thing out of all? It's the consciousness. So when I say Tripura is consciousness, now does it make sense? Oh yes. Now I can understand. We heard the story of Hemlata and Hemchuda. And Hemchuda was immersed in the bliss while he was meditating. And Hemlata comes and says, and touches him. And he's like, please don't touch me. And please do not drag me back to this world. I have understood the true nature of the world. This world is full of miseries. So do not drag me. I just want to be in my zone of bliss. Hemlata says, oh, when you close your eyes, the bliss is there. When you open your eyes, the bliss is lost. That means you have not experienced bliss. Where is that bliss? How have you gotten that bliss when you close the eyes? And what is happening when you open the eyes? The bliss is in your pure consciousness. How did you reach to your pure consciousness? When you started discarding everything, me, mine, that ego. When you started discarding, oh, not my family, I am not the king's son, not my wealth, not my cavalry, not my wife, not my son, nothing is mine. This body also not mine, not my mind. When you started discarding every layer that you were thinking you were, and after discarding everything, whatever was left, that pure consciousness gave you the bliss. Oh, my dear husband, when you open the eyes, does the pure consciousness die? Or does the consciousness die? Consciousness remains. So that bliss was in the consciousness. You were not able to realize because your consciousness was external. The moment you internalized your consciousness and went to that deep source, you experience the bliss. Now open your eyes and see the whole world is only pure consciousness and bliss everywhere. In all bodies, it is only pure consciousness. If these bodies are moving, this is only because of consciousness. You go in nature, you sit near a lakeside, you feel so nice. You walk near an ocean side, you feel so nice. Why? Because of the presence of consciousness. You go on a mountain top, you sit, nobody there around you to party or talk to you, but you sit and you're like, oh, I feel so nice. Why? Because of the consciousness. So, oh, my dear husband, you are trying to run away from something by closing your eyes. You have still not experienced the stage of liberation, because till now your stage of liberation is cutting off the knots. In your mind, there is one knot now, right now. And that knot is, if I close my eyes, everything is nice. If I open my eyes, everything is bad. Cut that knot. The consciousness which is inside me is spread everywhere. Everything that is happening is just a play. It's all pure consciousness everywhere. So just do your play and be happy. When you whether your eyes are closed or whether your eyes are open. So the last realization that you have to do is there is no difference between the creator and the created. The creator is pure bliss. And he has created everything. Everything is also pure bliss. So Hemchuda started living like this. And then while he was living like this, he became a Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta means he was liberated while living. If we are liberated by living, then when we leave the body, we are liberated. If we are not liberated while living, we'll have to come take the body again. So when I'm talking all this consciousness, it becomes very difficult. But when you read Gita Bhagwan says, think of me while you're dying. And it becomes so easy. Okay, now I think of Krishna, I'll be okay. Krishna is consciousness. Krishna is Sachidanand Vigraha. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidanand Vigraha. That Ishwar, that God is Sachidanand, form of bliss, bliss personified. And he is Krishna. So when we are putting Dvait means a form to God, it becomes easier. When we are not putting a form to God, it becomes very difficult. But this book, especially which we are reading, most of the thing here is there is no form attached to God. So the form is there, but we are being told again and again to focus on the conscious form. I would say conscious form becomes much easier. Because when I say Tripura with 4 hands, your mind is only focused on 4 hands. Tripura with 4 hands. But when you say conscious Tripura, then that Tripura can have 4 hands, that Tripura can be without hands, that Tripura can have 1,000 hands, that Tripura is traveling, that Tripura is everywhere. That Tripura, Devi Tripura, is in every living being. That Devi Tripura, how is she living in every living being? She is living as conscious energy, Shakti, life force. So we worship Tripura in each and every living being. She is spread everywhere. In 11th chapter, all this story, when Parashuram heard, he had still more questions to his master. He said, whatever you have related are very wonderful. But you're talking about consciousness so much. I feel that, yes, because you're speaking and I have faith in you, I will believe in you. But you're saying everything is consciousness. He said, yes, everything is pure consciousness. Then how did this world come into origin? The earth has some shape. There are planets. You mean to say consciousness became all this? Tell me the origin of everything. Why everything appears new? What is happening? Tell me. I'm not able to understand. So Dattatreya continued. My dear Parashuram, I will tell you the truth of the objective world. Whatever you see, there is something beyond this also. Listen with attention. Some people, there are different type of scientists who say the world was created out of atoms and combination of atoms. There is one view. Some say, oh, the world is every time originating and it is disappearing. Every moment it is born and every moment it is gone. Some say that this universe is infinite and eternal, each moment. Some contest the point, saying that maybe it is right, but these are just momentary projections. The world is momentary. It is there and it will go away sometime. Some people say, no, the world is combination of time, space, phenomena, and different things happening at different times. Some people say the universe is aggregate of matter, both mobile and immobile. Some atomists will say the universe is made up of 5 elements. Some of them are permanent and some of them are impermanent. But nobody is able to prove the origin of the universe. But all agree on one point, that the universe is an origin. Somebody may say this is accidental. We don't believe in the origin of the universe. Like there are certain philosophers, some atheists will say, what are you talking about God and all this? Who is God? Is he seen anywhere? Don't take your theory to God. This body is created out of cells, and the cells will die and finish. Nobody knows the reason of this body. Since there is no creator, we can't see creator. The creator doesn't exist. We exist. So let us just enjoy. There'll be only results, action, reaction. That's all. The whole life is only action, reaction. There are consequences for everything. But when you put the element of fear, oh, there is some creator who is watching you. Oh, if you don't do right in this life, then you will have to become something else in another life. You will have to suffer life after life after life. So this kind of theory, some people don't like. And they'll say, this philosopher will say, what are you talking? If the creator is there, it has to come. Whatever you say is absurd. If the creator is there, the creator is in everything. That is also absurd. We were created out of some cells, and the cells will die. This is reality. We came here, for some time we will die. After that, life is over. Enjoy. Do whatever you want to do. Why are you getting so many layers in between? Well, their point of view also looks very logical. They say this is all, you are overstretching your imagination by saying there is a God and who's watching you all the time. And even if you say, okay, you will have to take birth again, so what? We lived this life, next birth again. So it's just a science. You take birth again, you die, you die again. Why stretch your head, so many things in your head and stress yourself up? Behave like this, behave like that, go like this, go like that. Because somebody is watching and somebody is going to punish you. If there are hells, let so be. If there are heavens, so be. Maybe there is nothing. Have you been to heaven? Have you been to hell? Maybe there is nothing. Maybe this is all what all it is. Whatever you see, that is what it is. Whatever you experience, that is what it is. Why are you going beyond? So there are philosophers who talk like this also. But the Tatre says, most of the philosophers agree on one point, that there is a creator. These people who talk like this, everything came by itself, everything is going by itself. How is it possible? If there is something happening somewhere, then there is a reason for it, cause and effect. We can see something happening. So there is definitely a cause. If a thing can appear without a cause, then there is no relation between cause and effect. And there will be no harmony in the world. If a potter is making a pot, he'll make a pot. He cannot make a cloth out of that. So somebody has created this world. So how can something else happen? That means there is a cause and effect. And when the atomists say, oh, there are also many atoms everywhere. Well, okay, who created the atoms? And who created when the atoms are combining and they're becoming molecules, and in them, some of them living cells, some energy is going in the living cells, which is making them move. So who created these atoms? Who created and who bonded all these atoms to create a mountain? Or who bonded all these atoms to create an ocean? Because everything in the world is a play of atoms and molecules. Somewhere those atoms are going like current. Somewhere those atoms are like heat. And somewhere those atoms, if you say this is atomic body, then this body, how is this body feeling? That feeling is consciousness. So who created the atoms and who bonded them? If somebody says, no, it is just happening by itself. No, it's not possible. There is somebody. How did the primordial atoms begin to unite to produce diatoms, triatoms? Was it of their own accord? Because they are insentient, or because of God's will? Now comes the question. God. So that means there is something, and that is called God, who is doing it. The universe must have a creator, and that creator is very intelligent. And that creator has created this and is hidden behind the vastness of the creation. His power is felt. But how to experience him? He goes on saying, this matter is dealt in the scriptures. The scriptures speak of a unique creator. And that creator is called Maheshwara or Shiva. They speak of the unique creator who brought this creation. He created this universe by his own power. It is in its entirety and all its details. A picture on the screen of his self-like, the dream world on the individual consciousness. So Dattatreya is telling all this thing to Parashuram. And Dattatreya then again points out to him, Parashuram, think like this. You are dreaming. In your dream, you create so many things. You can create a whole family. Something has created that. Sometimes we don't know the reason why the dream was like this. But you created it. Because those images were already inside you. How did the images came? Because you saw so many things and you have forgotten. Those images are deep stored into you. And then in the night when you sleep, your subconscious mind is getting up and creating a picture. In that picture, you are happy, crying, enjoying. You have a different family, different wife, different everything. Traveling, passing, failing. And you feel that the dream is so real. But when you open your eyes in the morning, you're like, okay, it was just a dream. From where did you get this habit of dreaming? Because it came from the dreamer himself. You are the created. Who made you? The creator. So whatever he has given it to you. He created this whole thing, this universe, as his dream projection. Just as a man survives his dream, similarly, when the world is dissolved, when dissolution happens, the creator survives. Just as you remain pure in your consciousness, apart from the body, so the Lord is always unbounded consciousness apart from the universe. Like, if you get hurt, say you get burnt, you're burnt, but you don't die. The consciousness, nobody can do anything to the consciousness till the consciousness decides to leave the body, your soul. So he's saying, just like anything external is happening to you, nothing is happening to your consciousness. Similarly, he is pure consciousness, the creator. Nothing is happening to him. Exactly, yet, whatever is happening to you, exactly he is the same. Now tell me, is there any place where there is no consciousness? Can anyone prove in any manner anything out of this consciousness? Whatever you see is pure consciousness. Consciousness is like the sky, spreading everywhere. Just like if there is no water in the ocean, ocean loses. Ocean is not there if there is no water. There is no lightning without the sun. Similarly, universe cannot be conceived without consciousness. That Supreme God, Maheshwar, is the embodiment of pure consciousness. This whole universe consists of living and non-living entities, comes from him. This is the conclusion of all the Vedas. He says that in the book. We think that we are reading a so-called Tripura means Shakta, Tripura means a tantric scripture. But here, in many slokas, he has mentioned that this is what the Vedas are saying. And Agam Tantras, Agam means the name of the scriptures where Lord Shiva speaks. All those Agam Tantras are in accordance with the Vedic Tantras. Tasmad Achintya Shakti Sa Agamas Tad Vimarshanam. All the Agams are talking about it. That whatever in the world is, it's pure consciousness. And that pure consciousness is Shiva or Maheshwara. Tasmat Sarvagya Dito Yagam Sarvadarshanaha Tatrokto Deva Evado Srishtir Jagat Astitaha. This is the final and well-known conclusion of all the scriptures, and scriptures do not make mistakes. So if somebody has to approach this matter of the origin of the universe, of the creator, then they have to refer the scriptures. There are miraculous powers. The whole origin of this world appears miraculous. There are miraculous powers possessed by gems, mantras, some herbs, so many things we know. But from where is the miracle coming? Where is the power coming? It is coming from this Maheshwar. All these powers are coming from this Maheshwar who has created this universe. He is the supreme. He is the perfect. He is the pure. He is self-contained. Whatever he made in this world is also perfect. It has come out of his own imagination. And that imagination is divine imagination. Just like a magician plays magic, he did this. He is the cause of everything. He says, O Parashuram, you are aware of people full of daydreaming. Everybody's dreaming in their own way. And they're trying to create something for them. Sometimes they're in a state of doubt. Sometimes they're discussing with each other. Sometimes they come to a conclusion. But everything what they're doing is imaginary. Everything. It comes, it goes. Just as castles in the air are mental figments. So every living being that you see are just figment of Shiva. It appears real, but they're all figments of Shiva. Shiva is absolute awareness. You cannot put him in one form. And his energy is Tripura. His Shakti is Tripura. And she is the witness of everything. She is the whole. So the entire thing that you see in perfection is happening because of these two, Shiva and Shakti. And that Shakti is called as Tripura. So Shiva has created this picture. How did he create? He created a screen of consciousness. And on that screen of consciousness, everything, whatever is painted, us human living beings or animals or the five elements or whatever, is being done by Shakti. Time and space are the factors of division in the world. There are 14 lokas created. How? The whole space was divided. What is space? I'm living in this space. Space is space, everywhere space, ether. I'm sitting in a space. So I've occupied this space right now, at this time. If I leave this, the space is there. I leave it, but the space is there. So for some time I was here, I occupied the space. After some time I go away, the space is different, something else may come and occupy the space. So time and space are the factors of division of the world. Similarly, there are 14 lokas. Brahmaji has his own time to live. Our one, in our world itself, we as human beings, we are given 100 years to live. And the some of the insects, butterfly, is given only 3 days to live. So our 100 years is equal to their 3 days. Similarly, Brahma's trillion years is equal to our few days, our 100 years. So time and space is what is forming the division. And space refers to the location of the objects. So he goes on explaining all this. Everything is eliminated by that one supreme consciousness. So, O Parashuram, it is nothing but consciousness. This subject matter is a little, different because there is no form given. We talk about Shiva and Tripura, but it's more of conscious. Let me just take your question, Sarika, because I will explain here itself. It's very hard to understand Nirakar Brahma. Yes, yes. When it has many forms, it's hard to understand too. We say Krishna is same as Kali, but there is Krishna energy and there is Kali energy, so as the other Devis and Devatas. Energy is energy, okay? Even though they all are one, but they exist individually and have their own attributes. So as us beings, we exist separately from God, even though He exists in all of us. He is in all, but not in all. Can you please correct me? He is in all. That statement is right. And everything is in Him. That statement is right. Okay. Why? So this answer is going to come, what you asked. He will go on explaining. I think it'll come, I think 13th or some chapter will come. He says, the Vedas agreed, okay, and the same conscious energy, some people call, as you said, Nirakar, Brahma. Some people will call the same energy as Shiva. Some people will call the same energy as Vishnu. Some people will call the same energy as Shakti. But it is that one energy, one Parabrahma and one Parashakti, whom we are referring to. Different names have been given because it's a conscious energy, and that conscious energy takes different forms based on the devotees, how the devotee wants it. But that conscious form can change. Like in this body, I'm a woman, right? In my past body, I could have been a man. In this body, I'm Indian. In my past body, I could have been a European. In my previous body, I could have been a lioness. In my previous body, I could have been a cow. I have changed so many forms. How? The consciousness got condensed in those many forms. The atoms got condensed as per the consciousness. So in this life, if I always give my guru gave me the example in Gita class. He said, in this life, if say somebody just loves the ocean and they just want to dive into the ocean and they just want to live near the ocean, and if they love the ocean so much, and if whatever their karmas are, so they die with the consciousness like I want to be playing in the ocean. So there are two ways, they can be born as a human being near coastal region where they can just keep fulfilling their needs, their desires. Or another way is they can become an aquatic animal and fulfill their desires. So we as human being, as our own existence, we are taking so many forms. Who are we? Atma, atom. So Bhagwan, why are we able to do this? Because Bhagwan is taking so many forms. Whatever we are doing is coming from Bhagwan. So if we are doing something, it's coming from him. He is taking so many forms. He can take any number of forms. So when we call the word Nirakar, understand, I've always explained this to people. Nirakar does not mean he does not have an akar. He cannot be confined to a form. He cannot be confined to a form. That's why it's called Nirakar. There is one word, Nirakar, Akar, Sakar. Akar means no form. Nirakar means he cannot be confined to a form. He is tree. Yes, he is tree. He is mountain. Yes, he is in mountain. He is in ocean. He is in air. He is in sky. He is in everything. Does the sky has a form? No, but he is there. Does the water has a form? Yes, it looks like it has a form. So this, we always explain with the example of water. Water, it can become vapor. Does vapor have a form? No, apparently not. Water, it looks like it has a form. But when water is put in a vessel, that is the form it takes. So God is like that. When it is in the vapor form, it is like that consciousness. That consciousness then condenses. So we call it Satchidanand Ghan. Consciousness that condenses and takes a form based on the devotee's desire. Why the devotee's desire? Because the devotee is also pure consciousness. That is Paramatma, I am Atma. I took a human form because of my consciousness. And Bhagwan is always there. But if I, there is we learn about Bhagwan taking various avatars, incarnation. Very important to know those 10 incarnations, not the stories, the feeling behind it. My Guru taught me that when Bhagwan created fishes, the fish or the aquatic animals, he created as his own play. He wanted to enjoy with the aquatic animals. So he came in Matsya avatar. He took a fish incarnation. He became Kurma avatar, the turtle incarnation, because he wanted to play. He wanted to play with the aquatic animals. He wanted to play with the amphibians. He wanted to play with the birds. So he took the Hansa avatar. He wanted to play with the animals. He took a Haigriva avatar, became horse. He wanted to play with the violent animals like animal the lion. He took the nursing avatar. He wanted to become Devata because he has created all this play. So he wanted to become a Devata, and play with Indra in heavenly lokas. He became Vaman avatar. He came in so many avatars. He came in human avatars so many times. Because the whole creation is his creation and he wants to enjoy in each and everything. So he takes so many forms and keeps coming. So Paramatma and Atma, we are best friends. We were created out of his image. We were created for him to be happy. And if we are with him, we are happy. If we are not with him, we are unhappy. And if we are not with him, means sometimes they'll interpret, oh, not being with the world. No, in the world, everybody is him. Everybody is him. This is what Hemlata taught Hemchuda. Do not think that the world is separate from him. He is in everything. The whole world is his cosmic play, and he has multiplied himself in every living being, in every relationship, in every non-living thing. He is there. If somebody does not lose sight of that, then that person is happiest and he is liberated. Never lose sight of him. Even in anger, he is there. If something bad happens in our life, you know how my Guru taught me? Rudra Leela ho gayi. Rudra Leela means, oh, annihilation. Something bad happened. Rudra Leela. Bhagwan Shiv wanted to do this. Somebody cheated you and you were very upset. Rudra Leela. Because Bhagwan wants to open that, cut off that knots. So we see world like this. You got money suddenly. Vishnu Leela. Because he is going to take care of you. Every day you are born with some new knowledge. Brahma Leela. We see the whole world. That is the beauty of our scriptures. To see God in everything. All in God and God in all. Your statement. Okay. So let's get back to our thing. Consciousness is always pure and self-contained. That we must know. O Parashuram, this world is nothing but an image drawn on the screen of consciousness. It differs from a mental picture in its long duration. So we see so many things in our head and then we create a picture out of it. So he says, this world is a picture created by Bhagwan himself. When you go to Disneyland or all these amusement parks, they create all this, go to some horror sets. How they create the movie and you feel like, oh my God, this is there, seriously there, and you feel the fear. But it is all just created. Similarly, this world is just created by God. He is the one who has made this picture. O Rama, one who practices yoga opens up his eyes. And with the aid of pure yoga, O Parashuram, observe this creation manifested by one's will, just like the hallucinations brought about by a magician. Learn about the truth. And the truth alone is that Bhagwan is pure consciousness. He is infinite and he never changes its nature. Understand the difference between the changeless truth and that which is untruth, which changes. All these points he gives, and Parashuram is listening. Parashuram is like, Gurudev, you're talking so much. I know you're trying to make me understand, but let me tell you, whatever you have said about the universe, I agree with you. Maybe Maheshwar is there and Maheshwar is projecting this on the screen of his own consciousness, and we are all just actors there. It appears real to me, but there are other people to whom this may appear not real. They are also very intelligent and shrewd. So what appears real to me, is it because I have heard you? Or is it my illusion? Or is it unreality and I have, or is it I have removed my illusion and I'm seeing the unreality? So please tell me what happened. So Dattatreya says, the cause of illusion is the thought that makes one believe that the world is real. And he says, O Parashuram, this illusion is so old, so old, so old. It is very, very deep-rooted ignorance. And because of that, the illusion continues and the people think the world is real, but the world is not real. The world is unreal. Only what remains is consciousness. That is only truth. But the ignorance is so deep-rooted, we don't realize it. This body, we think, is the real thing, but this is nothing, but it is full of blood and bones. But inside it, the soul which lives, that is pure intelligence, that is unblemished. Sometimes people think this body is everything because of the deep-rooted ignorance. So the yogis work on it. They come to the realization and they realize the real truth after long contemplation. I will tell you a story. In the country of Bengal, there was a place called Sundarnagar, and in there was a king named Sushen, and he had a brother called Mahasen, who was very loyal and dutiful. One time he was praying to Maheshwar, and he did a Ashwamedh Yagna, where you have to leave a horse, and the horse, wherever it goes, if the kings, they fight with you, and if the kings surrender, then those kingdoms become yours. So he left the horse along with the princes, and the prince and the army was going with the horse, and they were walking, and they reached to a cave of a rishi, Tangan. And that rishi, the sage, was sitting there and meditating. Tangan was deep in his samadhi. He didn't know that there are people. And his son came there. His son came and he saw that this prince and the horse is there, and these people do not respect my father. My father is deep in samadhi and they are just sitting here and doing all this drama. He gets angry. He's like, whose horse is this? He takes the horse. And those people say, you can't take the horse. You have to fight with us. He's like, what? You have come to disturb my father and I have to fight with you. He just took the horse and he started walking. And behind him followed the princess, the king's son. He took the sons also, sons and the horse, and he went near a cave, a hill, and he went behind the hill. Afterwards, he came with a huge army from behind the hill, and he fought with all the army of the king. The king's army started breaking the cave. So he already had captured the horse. He already had captured the princess. He put them behind, and he came in from inside with a very big army, and he fought with all these people here. The king's army was defeated, and the king's army was afraid, and they left the scene. They went to the king and they said, "Sir, my dear lord, this is what has happened. We went to Saint Tangan's place, and his son just brought some army from inside a cave, and he fought with us, and we have lost the horse, and we have lost the princess also. We don't know what to do now." The king was very nice. He said, "You fought near a sage's place, and you showed your pride there. You should never do that. If the sages, if they get angry, if they curse, wrong things will happen. So you should have approached them with respect. No problem. We'll go with him." So next time Mahasen went there, and he went to the Tangan's hermitage, and Tangan is sitting there and meditating. He was meditating, seated like a rock. All his senses, mind, everything is in control. The sage was immersed in self, and he looked like a calm sea. Mahasen came there and prostrated in front of him. The sage's son was watching. And he said, "I'm very happy you showed respect to my father. Tell me, what can I do for you? I'll do at once. I'm the son of Sage Tangan." The king said, "Prince, I want to speak to your father." He said, "But my father is in Nirvikalp Samadhi, and he will come out of it only after 12 years, out of which 5 has already passed and 7 yet to remain. So it's not possible for you to talk. But since you have so headstrong and you wanted me to do something for you, and I already promised you, okay, so don't underestimate me. I will do something for you." And he sat down there himself for 1.5 hours in meditation, the sun. And he transferred his consciousness into his father. And his father came out of Samadhi. And the father looked at Mahasen. And father, because the son was already inside his body, father understood the whole scene. That the son had already taken the horse, and such a big fight happened while he was in Samadhi. And he looked at Mahasen, understood the situation, and then he perfectly peacefully looked at his son and said, "Son, do not do this again. If you become angry, your anger will just finish all your penance. Wrath wrecks penance. So don't do that. Penance is possible if you are calm, and you can progress without destruction, because this king is also doing his duty. So you became an obstruction in his duty. So don't do that. Do not interfere with the sacrifice. Be a good boy and return those horses and princes immediately. Do it at once." The sage's son looked at him, and he said, "Okay, I will give you." He said, "King, come with me. I will take you there behind the cave. But before going to the cave, you will have to remove your body here." He said, "How can I remove my body?" In between, there was a story, okay? So the sage had told that to Tangan, the sage Tangan told king, "You know what? Like you, I was also a king. I was in the world, but then I understood that I have to meditate, and that's why I left everything in my son's hand, and I came here with him. My wife was also there, and my wife gave this son while I was very austere, and because of my austerities, all the energy has gone into him also. So my son is equally as good as me. I initiated him in yoga, and he will take you and show you whatever you want to. So don't worry." Saying that, the sage lapsed into Samadhi, and the son is taking Mahasen to the hill. Mahasen was not able to enter. So he called the sage's son. "I am not able to enter." The son said, "O king, this hill cannot be cannot be entered if you are not a yogi. Looks like you have not practiced yoga. Anyways, my father told me to take you inside, so I'll do this. Leave your gross body in the hole covered with bushes. Enter the hill with your mental sheath along with me. The king said, leave the body and come with my consciousness inside. He's like, yeah. He's like, I can't do that. It is something like, if you have seen Harry Potter movie, there is one scene like that. Harry Potter and all those people enter, they go to this railway station and there is a pillar and they all enter through the pillar. So this is what he's trying to say. You just come with your conscious body. He's like, how can I do that? No, you have to do that. He said, I can't do this. So then the son came again. He's like, okay, sit down. And then the son took his conscious body and took out the body and left the gross body there in the hole. And by his yogic power, both of them entered inside. When they entered inside, the king sees in the cave, there is a wide expanse of ether. So he got worried. He's like, where did I come? I thought I'm entering a cave. This is ether. Where is my son? Where are the horses? He's like, come, we'll go. And then they are going again. They're flying. He's like, I'll fall. He's like, don't worry, I'm taking care of you. And the sage's son held his hand and they're going. I will never forsake you. And then they are seeing the sky and he's protected by the sun. They go ahead and they see a region of moon. And then when they enter the region of moon, he's very cold. The sage's son says, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Come on. And then they go ahead and there was sun and he was scorched by his rays. Again, they went ahead and then they saw Himalayas and then they are seeing some mountains and then there are distant places, different towns, there are kings, the earth was made up of gold, there is ocean, there is island, there are asuras, there are human beings, rakshas, all sorts of celestials. And he found that the saint had divided himself into Brahma as Satyaloka, Vishnu in Vaikuntha, Shiva in Kailash. He's seeing all this thing inside the cave. The king was like struck with wonder. What is this yogic power of this saint? The sage's son said, this sightseeing has lasted only one day according to the standards prevailing here. This is only one day sight. But whereas in your place, from where you come, 12,000 years have passed. He's like, what? He's like, yeah. And then, so here ends the 12th chapter. Now we enter the 13th chapter. He says, he got bewildered. The king got bewildered. He's like, what? Only one day here? Yeah, our one day here inside this realm where I brought you, one day is equal to 12,000 years of the place where you live. The saint is bewildered. And afterwards, they both came out of the hole from the cave. He regained his senses. Mahasen found 12,000 years, when he came back to this world, 12,000 years are already gone. It's like a time machine. And his Mahasen is looking everywhere. He's thinking, where have I come again? Where is my kingdom? Where are my people? And he asked to the sage's son, this is the world which we were in? And we left to see that within the hill? But this world, when we left, was different. When I'm coming here, it is looking so different. We spent only one day in your region. But now, everything has changed here. But your father is still there. He's in Samadhi. You were there praising. Just now, I thought you were there in front of him. What just happened? Can you please explain me? Where are we? So the son says, your brother, sir, you're no more the king of this kingdom. The place where you're living, Sundar Nagar, has now become a jungle. And only jackals and all wild animals are living here. Your brother was there and his progeny has increased to thousands. What was Bengal in your time is now, or Sundar Nagar, now your capital is no more. And there is Veerbahu, who is in your brother's line. Thousands of them have happened. And this capital is now called as Vishala. It is so. There is another country, all his sons are ruling the countries and all of them have changed their names and the cities have changed, the names have changed, the mountains have changed, the plains have changed. All the barren lands have now become fertile. Fertile lands have become barren. Seas have changed their courses. Rivers have changed their courses. Everything has changed now because 12,000 years in your loka has passed. Mahasen heard all this and he fainted from shock. The son awakened him. What happened? Why are you in shock? Not only shock, he started crying. He said, why are you crying? What's wrong with you? You're a sensible man. What are you mourning for? What lost? The king said, are you not understanding the reason of my sorrow? I just went inside the cave with you. And now I'm coming here and everything has changed. I am no more the king. My family, 12,000 years, you said 12,000 years have passed. Where is my family? That family because of whom I was something. I don't have my sons. I don't have my wife. I don't have my kingdom. Who am I? I lost all the identity that I had. I have lost all. My wealth, my people. A man is sad when his family dies. I have lost all my friends and relatives. And you're asking me, why am I sad? The son said, tell me now. That grieving that you're doing, is it something hereditary you have to do? Is it a hereditary virtue? Everybody grieves at the loss of somebody. Will it result in sin if you don't show that you are in grief because you lost something? Or do you hope that by grieving, whatever you lost is going to come back? Think well and tell me. By crying like this and lamenting like this, are you going to get whatever you lost? Or is it something like you have to cry because you lost something, because it's a habit? Tell me. Have your forefathers not died before? Have you ever mourned their loss? Before you got married, before your father, there were many forefathers, many forefathers. Did you sit and cry for them? You might have cried for your father, but if you saw your grandfather, probably for grandfather, but great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather, did you cry for them? No. Now you are saying, oh, my blood relationship, my wife. First of all, she was not your blood relationship. Anyways, with her, you had kids. And then you'll say, my kids died, my blood relationship, my brothers died, my blood relationship. Is that the cause of your grief? Then tell me one thing. When you eat something, and then that thing comes out of your body as excreta, that also is coming from your blood. Are you crying for that? And there are worms in that stools. That also is coming from you. You say my relation, my relation, my relation, my body, my people, my coming from me. Your stool is also coming from me. Your urine is also coming from you. Are you crying for your urine and stool? And your urine also has so many bacteria, and your stools also have so many worms. Are you crying for them, saying my? And you flush them nicely every day. Are you crying? Were they also not your relatives from that sense? Why is that not causing you loss? Why are you not feeling their loss every day when you flush? King, think. Who are you? Whose deaths are the cause of your present grief? There are so many bacteria in your body. You go and take bath every day and clean them up. Your hair is not your very own, and you easily cut it every day. Do you feel grief for your hair? Okay, your nails are your very own nails. You cut them. Do you feel grief for that? You get a bite by mosquito. The mosquito sucked your blood. Do you grieve for that? Your own blood. Your own blood, the mosquito is sucking. You said, oh, my blood relatives. I am crying for my blood relatives. Every day the mosquito is sucking your blood. Are you crying, my blood, my blood, my blood? No, right? So whose deaths are the cause of your present grief? Are you the body? Because if you are the body, then every part of the body should listen to you. Nothing is listening to you. Your eyes are losing their vision every day. Are you crying? Are you body, or are you something other than that? The body is simply a conglomerate of different substance. So What are you crying for? You are sweating every day. So much nutrition is lost in sweating. Are you crying? Oh, my nutrition went away. Oh, I have to cry. Are you crying? No. Every second you're losing something or the other. Are you crying? Then why are you crying for this people whom you lost 12,000 years ago? And you're like, oh, my relatives, what am I? Yeah, that is the question. What am I? Who am I? That is the question. Whom you call brother, weren't they just mere bodies? Bodies composed of earth when lost. They return to earth. And the earth resolves in everything into energy. So the body was made out of these elements. They resolve into energies. So energy, does energy ever get lost? Energy is always there. So what are you crying for? Energy is there. You are not the body. You own the body and call it your own, just as you do to a garment when you possess. What is the difference between a garment and your body? Okay, you love your relatives. And your relatives, they loved their garments. When your child, if you have a 5-year-old child, he loves some dress. Oh, my dress, my dress, my dress. And then when he outgrows, he becomes 18-year-old and that dress is no more. So do you think you have a relationship with the dress now? Because the dress had the relationship with your children. Do you have a relationship with the dress? Would you mourn over the death of the garment of that your relationship wore? How absurd, right? You won't cry. Similarly, this body is nothing but a garment. So why are you mourning over this? You speak of my body, my eyes, my life, my mind, and so on. I ask you, tell me precisely, who are you? Mahasen was like, oh my God. I'm not able to understand what to answer you. I do not see who I am. What you are saying, I can understand, sit still, but everyone is overpowered by grief when a relative dies. No one seems to know his self. So everybody mourns for all losses. So please answer me. So the sun says, everybody is deluded by illusion. Cause the illusion which is casted by her divine majesty, Ma Tripura. They partake of misery because of this illusory energy. This misery is meaningless. As long as this ignorance of the self lasts, so long there'll be misery. Just as a dreamer, when he gets up and he knows, in my dream, I was bitten by the serpent, but that was just a dream. He gets terrified in the dream. But when he wakes up, he's like, okay, it was a dream. So you are terrified right now because this is a dream created by Her Majesty, Ma Tripura. So the only truth is that Ma Tripura, go to her. She is the only permanent phenomena. So go to her. Investigate this matter closely. Understand what is dream and wakefulness. Being truly awakened is to know the real self. That you are pure consciousness. And this world is only similar to a dream. Whatever you think is real is because of the habit. O king, you see this cave? You know how much the distance was in the cave? When I took you inside the cave, you saw ether, you saw sun, you saw moons, you saw Himalayas. But let me tell you how much the distance of the cave was. It was only 2.5 miles. In that, I showed you so much. Do you know how? Brahma can live so many years. You know how? Because of his Sankalp Shakti. It's called power. Power of manifestation. We have all been manifested because of the power of the greatest manifester, the greatest creator. If we understand this science, we can understand that we are eternal beings. We think 100 years is our life. Brahma thinks trillion years is his life. But our lives are beyond that. We are eternal. So you come out of this imagination and understand the whole thing. So now I just finished 13th chapter. Already time is up. I'm sorry. This Tripura Rahasya chapter is a little big and very deep. So 14th chapter, I'll just take a little bit and we'll end it up here. He goes on explaining, Dattatreya goes on explaining the tattvas, 36 tattvas. Okay. When we were reading Gita, those who have read Gita, I always tell, please read Gita. If you read Gita, then it becomes easier to understand the 36 tattvas. In Gita, Bhagwan has explained all this, what I'm talking. It is in such simple language Krishna has explained. When I teach Gita, it becomes very easier to understand. Here, the logic is too much. But after a while, it becomes too heavy. But Gita is like, it just goes with the flow. Sometimes he'll be so loving. Sometimes he'll be explaining the tattvas with such love and, with a friendly note. But here, two stalwarts are talking. Dattatreya, the great knowledge, and he's imparting that great knowledge to Parashuram, and two stalwarts are talking, and then, we are sitting there, okay, which science seminar is this? So that's why it gets heavier at times. But even though they have put a lot of stories in there, but the stories are also very deep, deep. Jayanti is asking, who was this sage and the son? The sage name is Tangan. The son's name has not been given, so it is Tangan's son, Tangan Putra. All right, so all these things when it goes on, and then I'll go to slok number 44 of chapter 14. He goes on explaining. He says, whatever you see, the whole universe is just pure illumination, and which is self-sufficiently shining. It is there everywhere. And that illumination is nothing but her transcendental majesty, Ma Tripura, the Supreme. He explains this. Now, since that question came, right? I told you that answer is here. It's going to come. He says, Etat parachiti prokta Tripura Tripureshwari Brahmetyahurveda vido Vishnum Vaishnava Sattama Shivam Shaivottama Prahu Shaktim Shakti Parayana Etad Rupa Durte Kinchid Yadi Bruyustat Alpakam. The question which you asked, Sarika asked. So the answer is given in this shloka now. That which form, what form? So here he's saying the whole universe is illuminated by that one pure consciousness, which is shining everywhere, which is self-sufficient, and it is there at all times. And that illumination or that jyoti or that transcendental transcendence is her transcendental majesty. She is called Tripura or the Supreme. She is also called as Brahma in the Vedas. She is also called as Vishnu by the Vaishnavites. And she's also called as Shiva by the Shaivites. And she's called Shakti by the Shaktas. There is nothing indeed but she alone. Why this statement is so powerful? Nothing indeed. Because even if Shiv is there, if he does not have Shakti, if he does not have energy, then Shiv becomes dead. Shav. Shiv becomes Shav. Shav means dead body, if the energy is not there. A Vishnu cannot do anything if the energy is not there. Brahma cannot do anything if the energy is not there. So Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, the creators also need the energy to do. That energy is Shakti. Though people will call Vishnu is doing it. It looks like Vishnu is doing it, but no, the Shakti inside is making it do. So that is why she is very powerful. That's why even, when you look at Krishna, Krishna will have a Shakti as Radha. She is Lahadini Shakti. Different names given. The Bij mantra of Radha is Reem. Just letting you know. Her mantra. Bij mantra of Radha is Reem. Same mantra, Bij mantra is that of Bhuvaneshwari, which we are doing now. She's called Bhuvaneshwari. So Bhuvaneshwari and Radha are one, indicated by that one Bij mantra, Reem. So that Reem is original Shakti. Bij, the seed has the Shakti. Okay. So she is called Brahma in the Vedas. She's called Vishnu in Vaishnavites. She's called Shiva by Shaivites. She's called Shakti by the Shaktas. And there is nothing but her. The world is all created because of her. Shiva is the main conscious thing. And his Shakti. So we are, because we are in Shiva Shakti. So Shiva is the main conscious thing. And his Shakti is Tripura. So when we describe how the world is created in Tantra Shastras, when we read Gita, there we discussed about 24 elements. Sankhya, that is a Sankhya. And when we read Kapilopakyan, there we read about 25 elements. The 25th element is Bhagwan. Okay. Now here, the same elements are a little bit elaborated. The 24 elements remain as it is, but the whole play is that of Shiva and Shakti. So before this universe came into creation, who is there? The original Shiva is there. And along with him, his Shakti is there. So Shiva, now I'm reading the 36 tattvas. Shiva plus Shakti, the male energy and the female energy, primordial. Shiva, Shakti. Then that Shiva's energy is everywhere, together. So that is called Sadashiv Tattva. So Shiva Tattva, Shakti Tattva, Sadashiv Tattva. Then that Sadashiv Tattva, they decide to create the whole thing. And they are entering into everything. They are controlling everything. That is called as Ishwar Tattva. And how they were going to do this? That original knowledge is called as Shuddha Vidya. So these are the 5 first tattvas. Shiva Tattva, Shakti Tattva, Sadashiv Tattva, Ishwar Tattva, and Shuddha Vidya Tattva. So this is original before the Srishti comes, before the universe is made. And after that, the universe has to be made. Now you understood. Shiva is making a picture and Shakti is painting the picture. They are themselves becoming the controller, Ishvara. And they are spread everywhere as Shuddha Vidya. But that Shuddha Vidya means that pure knowledge is covered in ignorance, because this picture has to be created. How do you see picture? When you get into the theater, the lights are completely dark. Exactly, just think of it. When you enter the theater, it's completely dark. And in that darkness, a screen is given. And in that screen, there is a play of light and sound. And all the images come on the screen and you think the picture is there and you start reacting to it. Same principle, same principle. First, a darkness is created. The knowledge is there, Shuddha Vidya, but now a darkness is created. That is called avidya. Now the screen has to be there. Who is the screen? Maya, the illusory energy. Actors have to be there. Actors means kala, act. So kala is there. A duration has to be created for the movie of life, movie of the universe. Kala and kal. A script has to be written. Vidya, the knowledge. What to do, what to do, when to do, how to do, how every character will be introduced, how every scene, how every location will be looking. So that is called Vidya. And the actors will be doing some role, attachments, hatred, anger, fear, all those emotions have to be added. So that is called Rag. And based on one scene, the next scene has to go. And some scenes have to have a flashbacks also. What we say, in our life story, oh, we were born in a previous life something and we carried now, but we can't go back to the flashback. We can only go to the flashback of this life. But in that movie of eternity, the flashbacks is everywhere connected. So the story is connected. So that is called Niyati, destiny. So these are another 6 things added. So Maya, Kala, Vidya, the screenplay. Then comes Rag, Kal, and Niyati. And after that, if the whole screenplay is done, everything is written, scenes are written, then you have to enjoy the show. To enjoy the show, you will need some things. What you need? You need ears, you need something to feel, you need the eyes, you need something to smell. So all these organs are created. So Shrota, Tvaka means skin, Chakshu, eyes were created, Rasna, taste, then Ghrana, nose was created, and then the actors have to walk. So walk, and after actors have to speak. So walk, Pani, Payu, Upastha, and Pad. These things were given to the actors. Who are the actors? Us, living entities. And then they have to be given some more things. Shabda, Shabda means sound. Shabda Sparsha, Sparsh means touch. Shabda Sparsha, Roop means form. Ras means taste. And Gandha means smell. All these things have to be created. And then how are these going to be created? 5 tattvas. Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, and Prithvi. All these 5 tattvas are given. So these are what I mentioned were the 24 tattvas, which is originally explained in Gita, plus the 11 tattvas. That is the most important, which is introduced in this chapter. It was a heavy chapter, I understand. So we'll end it up here now. And it's already late in India, and I don't know, it was really tough. But then I end it up here, and then we'll try to understand this in a little more detail. But tomorrow we will start the conversation of Ashtavakra. So that is also very heavy. All right. So anyways, we'll end it up here. All right. Sarika's answer I've given. Sarika, Bechara, actually future travel realize karna pada, just like in the Hollywood movies. Yes, true. Time travels. Ma, this book is very dense. A lot of information download in just few days. Yes, but you make it very interesting and boring, or you make it very interesting and boring, or above our heads. Thank you. What book you reference? Okay, that book has been given. Ma, who is this sage? This I have answered. Shiva, Shakti, Sadashiv, Ishwar. Yeah. So these are the 36 tattvas. Don't worry, for now, this is just an introduction. In future, I will explain this tattvas in detail. There is a thing called Tattva Mimasa. We have to understand in details. I'll explain it. But right now, because of the 10 days, I've kept it in my head and I have to get back to Bhagavatam. It is getting a little too much. I mean, not boring. I got it. What do you mean? All right, Sarika. Take care and we'll see you. Yeah, we'll create the snippet. All right, good. All right, we'll see you all tomorrow. May all of you have Lalitamai day and Lalitamai night. Jai Ma.
Thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
Jai Ma, thank you.
Jai Ma.
Said not boring.
What?
I meant to say not more.
I got it.
Not thagi mein.
I got it. No worries.
Sorry. Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Okay, take care.